Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another ear-tip review, and today for you I have the Xinhs P12 or the Ivipq V15. I don't know why they're sold under two widely different names here, but yeah, this is a ear tip from Xinhs, and I will check out what these can or can't do. And first, let's again check out the placement on the market at the moment. Well, they don't really tell much about it on their product page. They just say it's a silicone tip, and they clock in at about, I think, $10 for 3 pairs. But as my experience is, even if you order 3 pairs like I got 6 pairs for whatever reason. So it's very difficult to assess what these price-wise are, because I don't know if they always send 6 pairs and just say they sell also 3. But yeah, as I said, theoretically 3 pairs would be $10 here. So that means theoretically it's $3.3 per pair, and they come in S, M, and L. I can't tell you what the official sizes is because they don't list them. Maximum I can do is give you a rough measurement with my measuring device here. So let's get the S out and get it to fit about on the right size here. So S is about 11.5 millimeters. M is, let's do the same row here. About 12.2 millimeters, and L is about 13 millimeters, or maybe a tiny bit more, because I just squished it a bit. So size offering here is actually not that great. These are definitely all considered wide outlet or like generally wider ear tips, and definitely would have been nice to see an other size variation here. So yeah, also price wise it's at $3.3 per pair, so it's also actually cheaper side, but not super cheap. And yeah, we talk comfort first, and as you might have noticed here, this is a very wide outlet ear tip, and best actually it did work on TWS here for me. So for this I think I can say, yeah, comfort actually is pretty good with these. This is definitely the better version of super wide ear tips out there. And you can see material thickness actually is more on the thicker side, medium thick overall. And that means while not being ultra squishy, honestly it's more squishy than you expect overall. And yeah, it also definitely a bit on the sticky side, which tackle later on. But yeah, it just means this does not compress as easily as the Xinhs white bore that just collapse in your ear and make a blow up and then poof, spring noises. This one just doesn't do that. It just stays how it is. And yeah, as I said, it works best for me on short and very short nozzle ears. Like for instance here, let me mount it and show you how this is looking. So that's how it's looking on the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro 2, Buds2 Pro. I was confused how these are called. But let's also give it another example for you to actually check how this is looking here. This is mounted on the Xinhs, what was this again, HS10 I think. So you can see here, it definitely does have a wide outlet here as well. Stretched actually a bit more on the real IM than it is on the TWS. But yeah, overall, as you can see, it just fits on most nozzles basically. So you don't even need to worry there. But with this one here, as you can also see with the actual nozzle length, I didn't particularly enjoy it. For something on the S12, actually I preferred much with this, because S12 can be considered a short nozzle. Definitely work better for me because I have a small ear canal. But of all of the wide outlet ear tips out there, Xinhs White, Spring, Tree Clarion, and a few others, this is the best fitting in my case. I think this one, while being a bit sticky but still squishy, did work best for me among all of those tips. And it's still not great, to be fair. I still prefer other tips over this, but really on the personal ranking for wide ear tips, well, this is definitely this ear tip, the P12 or V15, is better than Crystal, is better than Spring, is better than Xinhs, is better than Clarion. This really is not bad in terms of comfort, like among any tips I've worn so far, but for wide ear tips, it's definitely the best I have had. And then noise isolation, and let's tackle one thing first here. So you can see there's a thick or a dense mesh in the front here. And with the material actually being relatively thick to medium thick here, well, I think you should be fine in most situations. It definitely isolates better than the Xinhs White, but as it is a problem with most wide outlet ear tips here, it's just not great. It just won't give you the best insertion or the best fitment overall. And that means also here, actually isolation will not be the best. Subjectively speaking, I think this is similar to most other silicon ear tips, even for material is thicker, as I said, and even for you have the mesh in the front. So it's about a 5 to 5.5 in terms of isolation. And then shaping sound, as usual, subjective first. And again, let me stress, I listen to everything first before I measure. And yes, what can I say about this? I think this mesh dampens the upper treble. I have the feeling, I didn't note it exactly in my notes here, but I think on the AGO7M, the 10K region is completely cut off. Definitely the upper treble is dampened significantly. And also on the quintet, I have the feeling, yeah, the upper treble is dampened. And interestingly, as one of the few ear tips I have in my accessories, I do think you also get a reduced sense of dynamics with this one. It's not a lot, but somehow I perceive a slash, splash, and sizzle, and yeah, the dynamics are a bit reduced. So yeah, that's my subjective impression here. Objective, again, after I listen to this, and as you can see, yeah, I mean, as expected of wide outlet ear tips, and probably also helped during to the mesh here on the AGO7M and the quintet, with or without pinner. So with pinner is a more realistic measurement. It doesn't really matter, the upper treble is reduced here. And it's not as strong as you might expect by my personal hearing here. It's definitely not as strong, which strangely, objectively here, or like subjective to objective, this definitely seems to be more reduction to my ear when it is measured. But it is definitely measurable here. And as you can, one thing you can clearly see here, around 10K, you have a relatively strong decrease in amplitude. So this might actually be explaining why I perceive this as more than it actually is. Because I'm used that most IEMs have like a plateau or some energy at 10K. And maybe if this is lacking it and after that there's still upper treble, it might just come off as more damp than it actually is. But that's just my subjective, not interpretation, but like thesis here. Like it might not be the case for you with this one. Just keep in mind, yeah, objectively, this definitely reduces upper treble. And then next we talk about additional factors. And first, again, as I said, wide outlet here. Let me give this a quick measurement so we actually know how wide it is. Still a bit wider, still a bit wider. Yeah, this is a about 8mm outlet diameter here, so definitely on the wide side of things. And also, yeah, the mesh in the front here, while nice at helping you protect your IEMs from ear gunk, yeah, it's also said it probably dampens treble a bit. So this might be a factor for you positively if you want your IEM protected, and negatively if you want upper treble. And yeah, also one thing but keep in mind with this one, it's definitely sticky. It's not as sticky as the X Elastex in any way, but it is sticky and this might not be for everybody. I do prefer sticky, especially on TWS because, well, I mean, this is all the insertion you get. There isn't much going on here at all in terms of insertion depth. So I want it as safe as possible, and with that, you can only get with sticky. And yeah, and also one thing, this actually being on the shorter side of tips, it fits inside the TWS cases, so you could easily use this for your TWS, where other tips will probably be too long, but this one would work for that. And last but not least, mounting diameter of this, it's absolutely fine. You can mount this on basically everything. Let me quickly get, again, AGO7M with its thick nozzle inside, and let me just mount it so you see what I mean. Let me just flop it on. It's not even difficult. We just get it on. Nice soft silicone, and it sits on there just fine. So really absolutely no issue, and you can mount it on basically everything that goes from like 5.5mm, which is about what this has, to all the way to 6.5 or maybe even 6.7mm. Zero issues. So that, yeah, cleaning wise, I didn't have any issues with cleaning with this. Running some warm water with soap over it cleaned them absolutely fine. I don't know how well they react to alcohol, but it feels like normal silicone. I think also alcohol should be fine. I personally wouldn't recommend it, but I mean, it should be okay. And yeah, conclusion here. This is one of those ear tips. It's wide outlet to very wide outlet. It has a mesh in the front that probably helps to dampen upper treble, and it's sticky. I can definitely see quite a few people not liking this ear tip. But on the other side, if you're looking for a wide outlet ear tip, and you look for something that is a tiny bit thicker in terms of material, but still nice and squishy, and some people like me maybe want something that's a bit sticky, well, this is actually the most comfortable wide outlet ear tip I've worn so far. And if you are really want a wide outlet ear tip, and you are okay with the upper treble reduction, I would recommend this over every other white outlet ear tip I have had so far. And again, this includes the Tree Clarion, this includes Esna Crystal, this includes Spring, Tangsankai White. All of those to my ear are worse than this one. Just keep in mind though, my subjective ear, I have a very small ear canal. For me, I need something that is either very squishy or a bit sticky, so like it somehow stays right for me. But this one did exactly the job for me, and I wouldn't recommend it because there's too many ifs and here in this case. But if you really want something that is wide outlet and sticky, well, this is not a bad option at all. That's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Questions, recommendations, or criticisms, please leave a comment. Donspektor out.